We have some big news to discuss today as numerous reports have came out highlighting that the Toronto Maple Leafs and William Nylander are nearing an extension, and reports seem to indicate that that extension could be done by the end of the week. And Freeman also revealed the amount of money he's going to be receiving, and it seems to be a lot. So we'll break that down in this episode of Leafs Digest, as well as Brad Trelving. He spoke out on Ilya Samsanov being sent down and his struggles so far this season. So stay tuned for all that in this episode. But before we do, we are proud to announce that this episode is sponsored by Rentals.ca, and it's no secret that Leafs fans have wanted moves, and with the Leafs having clear holes in their lineup, injuries piling up the entire season, fans have been calling for Brad Trelving to make a trade, to make a move, to do something. And if you feel like you need some changes in your life, then Rentals.ca has you covered, and it's time to move.
You can rent houses, apartments, condos, whatever it is. Rentals.ca has you covered. From coast to coast, you can go straight to Rentals.ca. That's clean and easy to use. You can pinpoint exactly on the map where you want to move, and Rentals.ca will find you the best rental listings.
Yeah, and I've had personal experience with this website. My brother over at Habs Digest, he used it to find his apartment, so it's super clean, like you said, and it's a phenomenal website. So thank you to Rentals.ca for sponsoring this one. Check out the link in the pinned comment and the description, and thank you again to Rentals.ca for sponsoring this video. Now, Darius, we have a lot to discuss today. Some interesting stuff is going down. Kind of came out of nowhere, these reports over the past couple of days, and let's just get right into it. And this is pretty big for the Maple Leafs. It's pretty big for all the fans out there. We're all pretty excited to finally have an extension seemingly kind of coming out of nowhere, but they are nearing an extension, and there's numerous reports that have dropped. Elliot Freeman started, there's Dreger, there's just tons of people, and this started from Nick Barton. He tweeted basically from an article saying that $11.25 million is the one that is probably mentioned the most times 8, so 8 years, and William Nylander and the Leafs are reportedly trending towards a contract extension, which they'd like to get done before All-Star weekend. And for Elliot Freeman, the deal could happen by the end of this week, so it's January 3rd is the time of recording, so a few days from now could be done. That's over an $80 million contract, approaching 90. Actually, probably is about $90 million. Darius, what are your thoughts on this? Do you like this deal, or do you think this is a little bit steep? We kind of expected it, but $11 million AAV over 8 years is what's seemingly going to happen.
It's a lot of money, that's for sure, but well-deserved, all right? Like, if you look at the stats, we'll get to money in a second, but if you look at the stats, Nylander with 50 points on the year already, got his 50th point last night against the LA Kings with an empty netter, and again, this season, like 19 goals, 31 assists. He's having a career year. He's the first Leaf this season to 50 points, beating out Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, John Tavares, the other core players on the team. He has been amazing this year. He deserves the significant pay raise. He's one of the better wingers in the National Hockey League, all right? So it's well-deserved. But I can't help but kind of cringe at 11.25, I think is the number that was reported by Kyprios. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. I don't think the Leafs can afford that. You'll have 4 guys making $11 million, which is like absurd. I don't know how you can do that. I'm wondering if this was maybe a leak. I don't want to put out, any false rumors or anything like that, but I'm just wondering if maybe this was just a leak from the Leafs or maybe his agent, just because it's clear that they're working on it now. I think the Leafs realize this is a priority. You don't want to let this get to the offseason, especially if he has a big playoffs. You want to get this done. So he is being, treated as a huge priority. They want to get it done. But I just think that dollar amount, I would like to see him. I think he's at least a $10 million player, and he would get a lot more in the open market. But I would like to see him fall like 10.5, something like that. I think over 11 is very steep. But I understand it from his point of view. He definitely deserves it individually. He's one of the better players in the league.
Yeah, the question is how much this handicaps the Leafs going forward. Obviously, the core, John Tavares will need to re-sign. Whether he takes a discount is probably going to happen, but we don't really know. You see his stats here, 50 points. We made videos on this weeks ago when the season was starting about how contract extension, I think the Leafs wanted to fall between 9.5 and 10 at the start, and then they ultimately didn't get it done. And Nylander has not stopped or slowed down at all, really. He has 50 points. His name's being brought up less, but he's on a pretty good track there. And like you said, numerous reports, different people. Friedman said yesterday, again, could have him by the end of the week, 11.25 or so per year. So it is going to be most likely, unless, like you said, it could be, a potential leak. We really don't know until the deal's done. But $90 million for William Nylander is not something that I was projecting at the start of the season. We kind of spoke about it. If he goes in the open market, he would probably get that from some team. The Leafs are kind of handicapped. They have no real choice. They need to re-sign him, or else he will most likely walk, and he's not going to give him a discount, especially coming off of what is right now the best season of his professional career. So, I don't know, a little bit scary and a little bit, it makes my stomach turn a little bit. But it's worth it at the end of the day, so I can't be too upset about it.
No, I think even if if he's not budging and he's like, listen, it's 11 million or bust him out of here, then I think you just got to give it to him and let the salary cap go up. I think you just got to take a hit and be bad next year, the year after, just to secure him, because these guys are only like 27, 28 at this point, right? So you need to make sure you lock him in. I think if you're the Leafs and you let this guy walk, that's a huge mistake. That's really disappointing. But yeah, I don't know. These players are weird too. Like Austin Matthews has his jersey number in his salary. So does Mitch Marner. So I could see him asking for 88 million. Who knows, right? It could be a little bit less than what the report is, but still, that's a lot of money. I would like to see like 10.5 or something, which is still a lot. It really handicaps the team, but you got to make these sacrifices to keep these good players.
Yeah, and he played himself into this, so it's no one's fault really. I guess you could blame
his own.
Yeah, exactly. You could blame him, but let us know what your thoughts are on that. Let's move on now to Brad Trelving speaking out on Ilya Samsanov. Now, Samsonov is no secret. You made a video on it. I've made videos on replacements. Martin Jones had a phenomenal shutout yesterday against the Kings, 3-0 win. Very big win. Jones is starting to turn into a really solid backup goalie. Or at this point, he's a starter until Joseph Wall comes back, but Brad Trelving spoke out with, the exclusive interview with The Athletic on his plan for rebuilding Ilya Samsonov. Now, this isn't the most exciting thing, but he basically said that we always look at anything, and Ilya Samsonov wants and needs a physical and mental reset, and Joseph Wall is uncertain to return before the All-Star break. So there's a lot in here. We'll probably cover all of it in another video, but Darius, essentially, it's a mental thing for Samsonov. Obviously, some of it is physical as well, but this allows him to breathe a little bit for the week, get him out of the environment. He's not going to be playing with the Marlies. They're going to take him, give him a step back, and just completely reset him, which is, he was gaining nothing from getting destroyed in the NHL level every week, really. He wasn't playing that often. But do you have any thoughts on this? I think it's the right way to handle it, and I guess the concern is how all these other goalies perform, and Jones and Hiddleby.
Yeah, and I think just getting him out of the eye of the media too, just getting him away from the team, I think is going to help, because it's clearly a mental thing. I'm not even sure how much playing with the Marlies is going to help him either. I think just getting away from the environment of the team, going to the Marlies, and working with the goalie coaches there, and not even playing, just getting his head right, getting everything right, feeling good, getting back to feeling good positionally, because like we mentioned too, he's all over the place on the ice. So I think, like, even if he doesn't get a game in, or maybe he gets a few at the end of the conditioning stint, or whatever you want to call this, because clearly it's just something to set him on the right track again. He needs time to decompress, get back to his roots. We know the skill is there. He just has to build back up his confidence. And I think being away from the team and the media is going to be a good thing. It might help him. Obviously, he can work with the coaching staff and all those resources that the team has for him with the team, but I think just being away from the environment for a little while is going to help him a lot. So I hope he finds it. I hope, like, on a personal level, it's clear that it's like a mental thing and he's really fighting it. So the Leafs need him too. Like, that's lost in all of this too, right? So I hope he finds it. The skill is there. He's done it. He had a great season last year, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and who knows what the future holds for Ilya Samsonov with the Leafs after this year, but they definitely need him this year. Who knows how long Martin Jones can sustain elite play at given his career trajectory so far. But let us know what your thoughts are on that in the comment section below. I hope he does well. I hope he comes back. And again, Nylander nearing extension with the Maple Leafs. Pretty exciting news, although the number might not be exciting to some. But again, let us know in the comment section what your thoughts are on this. Do you think it's too steep? Do you think it's a right price? And thank you again to Rentals.ca for sponsoring this video. Check out the link in the description and the pinned comment, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.